Pranam Abhishekbhai.
Just starting the live stream. Pranam Badhane, Jai Jinendra. Welcome everyone to Adhyatma 101 Satsang with Shree Abhishekbhai. We are really fortunate that Abhishekbhai has agreed to do this satsang with Atmaruchi members. We had one session with him, the very last one in our most recent GDW, the Gnan Dhyan workshop that we had in Orlando in May, and everyone was floored. So with popular demand, we have requested Abhishekbhai, and we really appreciate that he has agreed to do this Svadhyay with us. So welcome to everyone, and welcome to Abhishekbhai. We can get started.
Yeah, so and then Pranam and Jai Jinendra everyone. Just real quick, Abhishekbhai likes to make the session interactive. In fact, he told me that if somebody has any question, we can start with that. So, so if anybody has any question, we can definitely do that. But at least let's try to make it interactive. So if you have stay muted, but if you have any question, just raise your hand so we can then ask you to unmute and ask your question. And the idea is to make it interactive so that people, everybody can understand. So if there is something which you feel is hard and not able to grasp, just raise your hand and get clarification.
We can start with
मंगलाचरण कर लिया। नमो वरिहंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो वैरियाणं नमो वज्रायणं नमो लोहे सर्वसाहुणं एषो पंचनमुक्कारो सर्वपावपणासो मंगलानं च सर्वेसिं पढमं हवै मंगलम् अज्ञानां तिमिरान्तराणं ज्ञानाञ्जनं शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
Oh, I raised my hand.
Sorry.
हमारा पूज्य गुरुजी आचार्य श्री લબ્ધિ વલ્લભ વિજયજી મહારાજ સાહેબ એમની આજ્ઞા અને પ્રેરણાથી અમે માત્ર એક માધ્યમ એક મીડિયમ બનીને એક ચેનલ બનીને તમારી સમક્ષ છીએ. So it will be my request that do not hesitate to ask any question you like. If it is within my capacity, it is within my understanding, I will definitely try to put my views and my experience in front of you. And the ideal scenario is always when we discover something ourselves rather than believe in what someone is saying, right? So my effort will purely remain to try to make you the explorer and push you to discover the answers for yourself as much as possible, which is why we try to keep it interactive. Generally, we begin with anybody's question. If it is relatable to all and I'm able to answer, then we can take it from there. Otherwise, there is a vast ocean of things to discuss when it comes to the universe and the observer. So if anybody has something in particular in their mind, then we can take it up. Otherwise, let's see, we'll go with the flow. Yes, Kalpana Shah.
Jai Jinendra Abhishekbhai.
Jai Jinendra Kadmavan.
Thank you so much for joining. Just a request, if you can summarize what we have done in Shibir last time in Orlando, if you can summarize that, Swadhyay, in,
Uh,
in short,
tough,
for the
tough to
people.
remember.
Yeah. Just a request, if I understand.
But
Otherwise,
like a,
I
whatever
will,
we do, the prayojan.
yes, I will try to put it across as much as I can remember. I think શિબિરમાં what I can remember best કે આપણે એક પ્રયોગ લીધો હતો છેલ્લે અને પ્રયોગ પહેલા obviously there were some questions answered and we were generally discussing about dhyan and how we look at dhyan, what is our approach to dhyan, what is our understanding about dhyan, and how we end up treating it like something which we can acquire in the materialistic world. So probably we had taken that aspect of it, and then we came to the fact that what we already are, we cannot acquire it, and if we try to acquire what we already are, then we distance from that which we are trying to acquire. So I think probably that is something that we had taken, and the experiment, the prayog that we had done was through sound. Rakesh Bhai had played a sound video that I had given to him, and in that, in the first round, we had to normally listen to it, and we had asked everyone, where are you listening this sound? And everybody had the opinion that it is where Rakesh Bhai was sitting, from where the sound was being produced. And then we had requested everybody to hear the sound where you are actually hearing it, which is where your hearing capability is, which is where the Jnana is also ekmek with the Indriya. So everyone then in the second round tried to listen to that sound where they are actually listening. So we had closed everyone's eyes and everyone realized that they experience the sound where they are and not where the sound is being produced. And when they tried to experience the sound where they are, they realized it is within them. And that had managed to make you experience an entry level of antarmukta, right?
Yes.
Yeah, self, yeah, within self. The direction of experiencing or knowing the sound was not outward, it was where it was within. And when everyone heard it where it is within, they felt a sense of antarmukta, a sense of being, and that was a first window to the inner conscience, the inner consciousness. And it was also realized that it immediately cut you off from any opinion, from any judgment, from any rag or dvesh, which is any liking or disliking of what they were hearing. They were not able to tag it, they were not able to label it when they heard the sound within them, and not trying to look or trying to take the attention to where the sound was being produced. So that probably gave a piece of silence, an experience of silence, and a light feeling, a feeling of being lighter, as there was no load, there was no obligation to tag or opinionate on whatever you were experiencing. And then we had explained that as you, with abhyas, with practice, if you're able to be within and experience everything that comes from outside, if you're experiencing it within you, and you're able to do that as much as you can, then you move from drashta bhav to jnata bhav, which means slowly the subject fades. It starts fading from your attention. The subject in reality is where it is. It never goes anywhere. But in your attention, it starts fading because now your attention is experiencing itself. And as it is experiencing itself, the subject starts fading and we move towards jnata bhav. So I guess to summarize it, what we had to take away from that session was that we do not experience anything outside our own periphery. Or to put it in very simple words, outside our own compound. Life as we experience it, life as we know it, life as we get attached to, life as it affects us, life as we try to acquire, life as we try to get rid of, all of these experiences, all of these desires and wishes are all happening within your compound, within your periphery. It never leaves. We never leave our own periphery, our own consciousness. It is scientifically impossible to leave your consciousness and merge into something outside of you. It is practically impossible, scientifically impossible, theoretically impossible. And with that session and that prayog, that is exactly what we were trying to establish, that nothing is happening outside of you. It is all within, all your feelings, all the spikes, the downward spikes and the upward spikes. The upward spikes being the excitements and the temporary happiness, the ecstasy, or the downward spikes, which is the stress, the anxiety, the fears, the misery. So all these spikes, they are nothing but shapes being created in our own consciousness. We never really experience anything that is outside of it. It is all a reflection within us. All we get to experience is that reflection. Whether we touch something, taste, smell, look, or hear. But it is all within us as a reflection, and that is what we tried to establish last time. So I think we could sum it up with that in a one line, the summary is that there is nothing outside, you experience nothing outside, everything, life as you experience it is absolutely within you. The only difference between mithyatva, that is wrong belief, and samyaktva, that is the right belief, is that the only difference between the two is nothing but your attention staying on reflection versus your attention experiencing itself. Both are happening within.
Yeah, Abhishekbhai, that's a very good summary. And what I was thinking is, but maybe there are few people who were in the GDW session, and but the majority were not there. So I think if maybe not right away, but whenever you feel appropriate, maybe we can repeat that sound experiment again. So when people
Yeah,
experience it firsthand, I think it will make it more clear what you are trying to explain in words.
absolutely, Rakesh bhai. But what we will do is we will see. Let's see how the discourse is going, and in the flow, if we feel we'll do it. If not, then we will take it up in one of the future sessions for sure. But what we can do for now is that um, we can try to interact a bit and build this thing from the root.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And because I believe, Rakesh bhai, foundation in anything we do in life, you know, that it could be an art form, it could be business, it could be a PhD on something. Everything has a correct foundation, which then helps you to move along smoothly, slowly but surely. And then um, along the way, we try to rule out all the confusions, all the misunderstandings that we may have, you know, all the preconceived notions that we may have about what we are talking about dhyan, about adhyatma, about atman, about man, about us, about the universe as a whole. So we can always go simpler, slower, but with utmost clarity and interaction rather than a one-way street. And interaction always helps us establish that foundation really strongly. So now I think Rakesh bhai, if you or Neha Ben or anyone else um, has anything to ask, any basic question to ask, it can start with a confusion, it can start with anything. Then we can take it up, and then that will guide us
Yes.
how to
Yeah,
move
I
forward.
have actually, there is a confusion since you
Sure.
spoke first.
Sure.
Since everything is happening within, there is this tendency to control, right? Or to feel like we have control if it's within. Then why is it that Gnanis constantly tell us that, nothing except you is what you have in control? Since all of the experience, like you mentioned, is happening within, then why is it out of our control? Or how, like, I'm kind of confused as to, how do we, should we control it, or should we try to control it, or should we tell ourselves that no, even though I'm experiencing it within, I have no control?
Okay. What we need to understand is what do we mean by control? Whatever I have understood from life so far, I realized that when we must control something, that which we are trying to control is always the other. Have you noticed that? Have you observed that anything that we are trying to control is the other?
Right. Yeah.
And how do we conclude that? Because when we observe something is out of control, then we control. So, what is that which is out of control? And who is that which observed the other going out of control? See, when you took the decision that I must control, it automatically indicates control the other.
Mhm.
And the need to control came from knowing that something was out of control.
Right.
So the question here is, the one that saw that something else was out of control, was that knower, was that observer out of control?
Hmm.
Do you get me?
Yes. Yes. So we are trying to control the other and not really
Yes.
focused on the observer that is the one that is out of control. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. And we can dig further. Now we will first take the idea of control. What is the idea of control? The idea of control is to have a grip on something,
Hmm.
is to believe that I can change something in the external world.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the idea that through my will, through my wish, I can dictate the other. I can dictate something in the external world which I thought needs to be controlled.
Hmm.
That's the idea behind control.
And also the expectation, right? That things have to be like, I have a set of expectations of what is right and wrong. What is it that, how things should go. And accordingly want things to go that way.
Correct. So the moment I said control, immediately there is a non acceptance established right then and there.
Hmm. Hmm.
When I say control, it immediately establishes non acceptance.
Meaning something did not go per my expectation, and therefore I now need to change it, and so in that sense control it, right?
Yes, that too. But we must understand the very need for control that came out of us. We
Mhm.
need to dig deeper and understand, why do I need to control something? When
Mm.
the feeling of controlling something arose in me,
Mm.
where did that come from? So just like you already said, Rakesh Bhai, that, that I had, sorry,
Somebody unmuted by mistake.
Yeah, one more, go ahead,
not,
continue.
not an issue. The moment I said control, it indicated that there was a preconditioning within me.
Mm.
It indicated a pattern. It indicated a set format of life. It indicated limitation. It indicated limited vision. How did it do that? The moment you said control, it came out of your limited understanding of the world, and it came out of your limited understanding of the self,
Hmm.
because you were one with your own conditioning, your own set patterns. Every action of yours was dictated by that limited conditioning, which is why we call it limited vision. Now, why do we call it limited vision? So let's say you have a certain conditioning. You look at the world in a certain way. You react and respond in a certain way. Your likes and dislikes are a certain way. Whereas Rakesh Bhai here looks at the world differently, perceives it differently. His views, his opinions, probably towards the same thing, may differ from you. In the same moment, in the same situation, his views differ from you. And so does everybody else on this Zoom, right? Everyone that sees something or experiences something in this moment perceives it in their own unique way. So what does that indicate? If every person's perception, response, reaction, opinions, judgments for the same thing in the same time, in the same moment, can be uniquely different from the other, that means each one of those had a unique conditioning. It could overlap with each other, but by and large it was unique because the experience within was unique. So the question that raises is, if your conditioning is different from Rakesh Bhai's, and his is different from mine, and mine is different from all the others on this panel, then we are all a collective of limited conditioning. Can that be said?
Yes.
Can that be said? Because you could not relate to the other could not relate to you, but the moment was same, the subject was same, but reactions and responses, the experiences were different, which indicates that each one of us did not share the same experience, did not have the same conditioning. We all had different conditioning. But what would happen if we take the collective conditioning of every living soul in the universe and make it our own? Okay, I'll repeat this question. If you feel it's complicated, I'll try to simplify it. What we established first, every conditioning is limited because it is unique and it is different from the other. It does not always match with the other. So each observer comes from a limited understanding, a limited conditioning, a limited viewpoint. So if your understanding is your own limitation, mine is my own, Rakesh Bhai's is his own, and each person's understanding is their own, then aren't we all little small limited versions of what we understand in the universe?
Right.
But Emma, I think the issue is that I would generally have a bias, right? At least maybe not for everything, but for certain specific viewpoint, right? Like I would say that hey, I know more than others. So I'm coming from that higher ground, saying that, hey, I know what is better for Neha or what is better for others, and therefore therefore I should steer them in that direction. And if they don't go in that direction, then that's where all the frustration and everything will then set in.
And that itself proves your limited vision.
So I think the point is that even though, like in theory, what you are saying, right, it's easy to understand, right? But in practice, because of the bias, and that's not easy to detect when you are in the situation, when one is in the situation, I think that makes it hard to say that, hey, I should let go, or I should, or my vision is limited, and other person, I should accommodate the other person too.
You know, I should let go comes from the ego. It does not come from acceptance. We must make that very clear. When I say that I must let go, I am the bigger person. Actually, I am the most smallest and the most limited person at that time, because I am thinking to myself that it is I who is the bigger person. That is my own limited vision. What you just said about it being difficult, let me say with utmost confidence to you, everything that seems difficult right now will only become easy, free flowing, when the understanding opens up and when the vision broadens up. Everything, when we say that in theory, this sounds okay, but in practice, it's difficult. This itself proves my limited vision. So what really happens, so I'll repeat what I had said earlier on. What would happen if we took the collective limited visions of the entire universe, of each and every soul? Okay, you have to sometimes, what we can't do practically, we can use imagination. There is no harm in that. We don't remain in imagination, but imagination can always be used as a tool to understand certain things. So right now I would urge you to use your imagination to understand. Let us gather the collective limited visions of each and every soul living in the universe and make it my own. How would you then look at the world and opinionate? How would you then look at the world and judge? How would you then look at the world and say, I must control it? Because now you are the collective consciousness. Now you are the collective vision of each and every living soul in the universe, which means every possible angle is covered.
But that's like being Bhagwan.
Why do you doubt that you are one? Why do you
Abhishekbhai, how do you do with all universe collective for all of these souls? You are, when you are trying to get a control, means you liked it, that's the way you wanted to do it. But now we're talking about collective, all the souls. How would
Yes.
you summarize to get all souls while you are doing your own self, your own satisfaction? It's kind of a little harder or confusing to do the collective.
Well,
You
it
can
sounds hard. Well, it does sound hard. It does sound a bit complicated. But trust me, it isn't. When you will understand the secret of what I'm trying to say, there is nothing more simple or simpler than that. And we'll try to open it up. So when I say you gather the collective limited visions of each and every soul living in the universe, taking a pen and paper is certainly not the way to do it. Then what do you do? Because one might say, oh, but I can't even know each and every soul.
Yeah.
I can't even understand each and
Correct.
every soul's viewpoint. I can't even know their experience. Then how do I, sitting where I am, gather the collective limited visions of each and every soul and make it one universal vision? How do I do that? Sitting where I am without doing much. That's the question.
In a little corner. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. So for that, what we must try to understand. Think about it. For a moment, you imagine you already are the collective consciousness of the universe. You already are. Just believe in me. Just believe. Lose your ego. Let go of it. Just surrender to my words. Do not try to make sense of it. Do not try to rationalize it. Don't try to find logic. In short, don't feed your brain. Don't give it fuel. Let your intellectual mind, let your intelligence be given a temporary anesthesia. And I must give you just one rule, that make sure when you look at the world or anything in it, and it triggers something out of you, a feeling or an opinion or a judgment, the rule is it should cover all the possible angles, and not even one angle should be missed. And whatever it triggers out of you, it should be each and every soul's truth. That's the rule. I'll repeat. Believe in me. Follow what I say. Put your intelligence to sleep. Right now, right here, in this moment, you already are the collective consciousness of the universe. And now, this world or anything in this world, whatever it triggers in you, must be truth and nothing but the truth, must be everyone's truth. Nothing but the truth. So be careful before you utter a single word to say something about the world. The moment you say something that may not be a universal truth, you slip. You're out of that collective consciousness. Like I said, put your intellectual mind, put your intelligence to sleep. And this session that we are doing, and this person that is in front of you, look at that person. Carefully look at that person with your newfound collective consciousness of the universe. One where there is no limited vision, no limited angle, no myopic view. Truth, but only truth. In anything you utter, looking at this person, must be a universal truth. The moment it is a myopic view, you no more are within the collective consciousness of the universe. If anybody may want to utter something, looking at the very person speaking to you, right here in this moment, with this universal vision, what would that be?
How would I judge that my thinking or my judgment is equal to the collective or universal way? Because mine is like a spur of the moment. I wanted that way. It didn't happen. And as we go back, what we started the talk, control. So now we're talking about collective. How would I know what other will feel? Or how can I merge their thinking with me? Or vice versa?
The moment you look at what the other is feeling, you're looking at their limited understanding. And the moment you're trying to match it with yours, you're again looking at your limited understanding. The rule is your intelligence must die, your intelligence must go to sleep. And now, anything that you say, anything that you feel, must come across as one truth, which does not need to be matched. But you already know it is everyone's truth. What would that truth be? And what vision would you have to see that but nothing else?
So probably silence will be the main tool. Just silence.
Or that I see my reflection in everyone else and everyone's in mine.
Well, there are various ways to put that. But when somebody said silence, when they had to experience something, the speaker in this moment, but had to follow the rule that whatever they felt cannot be a limited vision. It must be universal truth. And the conclusion was silence. Why? Because the moment he or she would pass a judgment, would make an opinion, by itself it became limited. By
Right.
itself, the collective consciousness was destroyed.
That was a personal opinion.
Absolutely. But when you remain silent, not just by body and mind, you remained silent from the intelligence. It is your intelligence that remained silent because a rule was given to it that any analysis, any judgment that would come out of that intelligence could not be limited. That was the only rule the intelligence had to follow. And the intelligence, through its own intelligence, realized that the only way I could manage that is by my own mrityu, by my own disappearance, by my own non-existence. Is everyone following this? If not, we can definitely simplify it. But what we are trying to establish here, and very rightly pointed out as silence, but silence of what? The silence of my intelligence, by extension, my own ego. my own limited vision towards this world and the things in the world. And the only way my consciousness became the universe's consciousness was when my intelligence was put to rest, when I went beyond my intelligence in my being, in my being an observer. When the intelligence died, with it died the opinion, the analysis, the judgment, the likes and dislikes, the dangers and safety. All of it died with the intelligence itself.
It has an unlimited size rather than my own side. That's what I got to think about that.
Absolutely. The moment I took a step back, the moment I went beyond my own intelligence, the moment my intelligence, the ego, was given the rule that do what you want, but anything that comes out of you has to be universal. If it's not universal, you lost the game. You're out. And the intelligence, being the ego, always wanted to take up the challenge.
Like they say, the one who speaks first, they are the loser.
No, the one who speaks is the loser.
That's what I'm saying. That one who speaks first, they are the loser,
Not first,
not the first.
the one who speaks. Because the moment one speaks, he or she utters a opinion, a judgment coming out of his or her own limited vision, limited understanding of the universe and the things of the universe.
May I
Which
say?
is why, yes, please go ahead.
Yes. I wasn't thinking in that sense. My thinking was that the consciousness pulsates in each and everyone is the same. Their expression are different. So why am I looking at expressions rather than seeing the oneness? And that's what my thought was.
Your thoughts and mine totally match. Because that is what we are saying here. We are saying that we separate our consciousness from our intelligence, from our ego.
Right.
The moment we separate our intelligence from our consciousness, by the virtue of that itself, you have now become a universal, unlimited, unending vision.
Hmm.
That is
But
exactly
ego
what we are
plays
trying to
the
establish.
1,000-mile speed. Ego plays the role 1,000-mile speed to just utter out quickly. That's where the control has to come. And how do we do that?
Well, control was the reason why we
All this,
came.
Yeah.
Control was the reason why we came this far in this conversation. That why do we control? Where did the urge of controlling come from? What is the epicenter? What is the root of control?
Right.
When we understood the root of control, we understood there is nothing to control. And to understand that very thing, we tried to take a little diversion to establish that my wish to control something is my limited vision. And my limited vision came from my ego. Can we safely say, all of us, that limited vision is equal to the ego? Because it can never introduce you the ego can never allow you to be introduced to an unlimited vision of any one given thing. Because my vision of it is different, yours is different, hers is different, and millions of people and billions of people and all the unlimited souls have different opinion about the same thing, have a different experience about the same thing. So when I choose to believe my own conclusion, my own vision, I am automatically, subsequently, I am saying that the rest of the world's experience is a lie. The moment I say, this is my opinion of that,
Right.
at the same time, in the same moment, what I have done is that I have called everyone else's opinion on the same thing a lie. But my question is, are others' opinions on the same thing in the same moment lies, and your own opinion the truth? What do you say?
That's my perception. My perception.
It
So,
is your perception. It is your perception. But the
Yeah.
moment you choose to believe that your perception is right, your perception is the only perception, you have at the very moment called the rest of all perceptions a lie. Do you think that's accurate? Do you think that's the truth?
so
Yes,
Abhishek bhai,
sir.
just use when you say universal truth, you are defining that to be the collection of individual, all living beings' vision or all of their beliefs. And so basically, you are saying there's no such thing as an absolute truth. The truth is a collection of everybody. Understanding?
There are two ways of saying this. Absolutely. The moment you choose to believe yours or anybody else's or a group of people's opinion, there itself, when you chose to believe, then you have rejected everyone else's opinions on that. And that made your vision limited. And truth can never be limited. And truth can never be different from different people. Then that's not universal. And what I must tell myself, till my vision is not universal, I am limited. And till my vision is not universal, my ego is very much alive. My intelligence is very much alive. Let's say the moment I speak something, right there, right then, it's limited because I spoke.
But you cannot be silent all the time. That is
What you
also
must-
the fact.
No,
What,
that's
what you must understand, sir,
is that.
is that it is the intelligence that is silent, not your words, not the sound that you're producing.
Right.
It is the intelligence, it is the ego that is silenced. I am speaking to you right now, and a part of my intelligence is being used to speak to you, to make you understand, to explain, to analyze. But along with that, an unlimited vision which says whatever the speaker is saying right now is not the ultimate truth.
But then, Abhishek, wouldn't it lead to like a herd mentality where, because not everyone has the complete vision.
Yes.
Not everyone is with Ram.
Yes.
And we accept everybody's truth as the truth,
Hold it,
as
hold it.
multifaceted.
Hold it here. Hold it here.
Mm.
Sorry to interrupt you. When you
Yes.
say everybody, you only mean the limited number of people in your life.
Mm.
You don't mean each and every living being in the universe.
Mm.
But we don't know everybody.
That's it. That's it. You cracked it. You don't know everyone. But how can you not know anyone, everyone, and yet know everyone's universal truth?
Wow.
You put your intelligence to rest. The moment you choose one opinion, it is a limited opinion. And I must tell my intelligence, till I don't gather the opinions of each and every living being, I will not believe. How about that? What if we live life like this? Let me gather each and every living being in the universe opinion. Till then, I will not choose to believe. આવો તપ કરી શકીએ આપણે?
But then my opinion will be borrowed opinion of other people.
No. Sir, I will repeat it once again for you. What you do is, you tell your intelligence, till I don't gather the viewpoints, the opinions of every living soul in the universe, I will not choose to believe anything. I will perceive, I will learn, I will observe, but I will not choose to believe. What happens then?
So, I mean, isn't it indirectly you're saying I will believe everything or accept everything as true?
Look, if you say believe everything, then again you have to know each and every belief there is in the universe.
Yeah,
Can you
so,
do that in one lifetime?
So till I don't know everyone's belief,
Yes.
the limited people's belief that I know, I would accept all of those to be true. Is that what you are saying? Or no?
No, I'm saying the exact opposite of that.
Okay.
I will not accept anything as the ultimate belief.
So
Nothing.
before saying universal truth, and now it's sounding more like universal false.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. You look at it this way or you look at it that way.
I am not getting.
You arrive at the same destination. You try to collect each and every person's opinion, or you don't believe anything. It brings you to the same destination. Think about it. Take 2 minutes off.
Mhm.
Take a minute off. Try to understand what we are trying to establish here.
Abhishekbhai, how do we, like, we are constantly reminded about our duties, right? So
Okay.
how do we go about doing our duties with this mindset that either
Okay.
nothing is, true until I know each and every person's opinion, or that everybody's opinion is, every living being's opinion is the truth or part of the truth?
You do your duty, but you don't opinionate on it. Why can't that happen? You do your duty, you don't give it a name.
I wouldn't be able to do my duty properly, right? If I feel
Why
like
so?
it's important, or this is not
Why,
something.
why so?
What
Why so? What
if
if you?
it's worthless? Why am I doing it?
I'm sorry.
If it's worthless, why am I doing it?
We never said it's worthless, because calling it worthless would be one limited opinion. Do what comes in the flow of your life. Don't bring opinion or judgment or how you feel about it in the mix. Just do it. Why do it with the weight of opinion? It's a misbelief, it's a limited belief that I cannot do something unless I believe I must, unless I believe that I love it, unless I believe that it will gain me something. All those are limited visions. All those are limiting me and my vision, and hence gives rise to the concept and the idea of control. What happens if you do something but don't attach any label, any judgment, any analysis, any opinion? What happens? Please tell me. What happens? What happens if I do this session with you and at the end of it, I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose, no good feeling, no bad feeling, and I have no opinion on it? Whether it was good, whether it was bad, whether everybody liked it, whether everybody understood, whether everybody was confused. What if none of this exists, but the session gets over and I go to sleep and you go to work? What happens?
It will be hard for us to convince you to come for the second session. So meaning, in other words, like what would be the motivation then? Right? Like if you are saying if you don't lose anything, you don't gain anything, then what would be the motivation for the act?
Why do you need motivation?
Then how do you?
Why would you do it?
Then,
Right? I mean, you wouldn't do anything.
Then don't do it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Don't do anything.
Then don't do it. If it comes in your flow and your intelligence does not interrupt it, do it. But if you always need a why, don't do it. What would happen?
What does it mean? If it comes in your flow and if the intelligence does not interrupt, then do it. What does that mean?
The intelligence always needs reasons to do some things.
Right.
Mm.
Am I right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The intelligence needs good reason. It needs something rational. It needs something profitable. It needs something of its own benefit. But I must ask you, anything that your intelligence decides that this is to my advantage,
Mhm.
I will gain something out of it, that thinking of your intelligence is limited. Anything that your intelligence has decided you will get out of it is limited.
Mm.
You could get out of it being unlimited without the weight of opinion, without the weight of profit and loss, without the weight of benefits and misbenefits. So you said, what would be the motivation of doing something? I must ask you, what is the motivation of blood circulation in your body to keep circulating?
That's its nature.
Absolutely. Do you interrupt? Do you ask the blood flow, why are you being circulated within my body? What's your motivation?
No.
Why? Shouldn't your intelligence question?
Mm.
Shouldn't your intelligence question your liver, your kidney? Why do you do what you do? What is your motivation? Do you command it? Every now and then, your kidney is working 24/7. Your liver is purifying your blood. Your heart is pumping it. Your blood is being circulated. Are you commanding it?
Mm.
Is it working on your instructions?
No.
But still, it is your body. And you said control. But this says, the liver says, the kidney says, the heart says, the blood says, you have no control. I'm going about on my own. And I have no motivation to do it. Then why does it still happen? Why does it do its task? Can't you become like your blood circulation? Can't you become like one of the organs of your body?
So then what's the difference between a living and a non-living?
Yeah, those
thing,
are all
right?
mechanical
Those,
acts. Right?
like,
So-
how would we
Why is
because we have the capacity to think, we think,
Or we think, we think.
or we think.
we think? That's true.
I think somebody had raised the question,
Yeah, sorry.
hand. So,
Yes,
Dharavel,
please.
you have a question?
Somebody had a question.
Or even before, I know, Hemendra Bhai, you had raised, I think it was a while back.
Yeah.
Sorry, we could not ask you to. But if you have any questions, we can pause it.
When Abhishekbhai was giving us example, I was saying probably what he was probably, my understanding was he was referring to Jeev Maitri and Sahaj Svikar when he talks about accepting universal opinion and then thinking in that direction. My question to Abhishekbhai is, are you referring to Jeev Maitri and Sahaj Svikar? Is that the eventual thing that you're trying to lead us to?
Sahaj Svikar is a byproduct. એક કરતા બુદ્ધિથી નથી આવતું. When you become an observer, when your intelligence dies, and when you are beyond your intelligence, your ego, what remains of you is Sahaj Svikar. Because the intelligence does not exist to control, to change the status quo. Why would it want to control? Why would it want to change? Why does it believe something needs to be changed? It believes so because of limited vision. And my limited vision and others' limited visions, each individual's limited vision keeps that individual within the confines of their ego. But the moment I say collective vision of the entire universe, it is silence right there. It is Sahaj Svikar right there. No opinion is wrong. No opinion is right. Nothing is sarvada. Nothing is absolute. But is the isness of things is the ultimate truth. The isness of things. And when I am going beyond my intelligence and being an observer, all that I can experience is isness, is, che, hovapanu, existence. Because the moment a judgment came out of my intelligence, it made the isness is something, is adjective, is visheshta, is right, is wrong. But the moment I cut off the right and wrong and I settled at isness, the is, the che, the hova pado, my intelligence dies. And my Jnana Swarup, my Shuddha Jnana Swarup, starts taking shape. Not taking shape, but starts becoming the whole of me. And when I am the whole of me, I am the observer. There is no weight of opinion. There is no limited thinking. There is no bias. It is the end of wars. It is the end of all religions. It is the end of differences. It is the end of hatred. And that is the real definition of love. When my vision is unlimited, that is the definition of love. But when my love is for you, then my love is for me, my ego. But when my love is not just for you, or a group of people, or a race, or my kind of people, but everyone is, that's when true love is experienced. That right there is true love. With no control, with no opinion, with no desire to change. That is true love. When love is for someone, when love is for something, it is not love. It is swarth, it is selfishness. But when love is not for something, when everything is love, then I am love, and that is love. Then I am unlimited. My desire to be motivated to do something, my desire to be motivated to do something asks me two questions. Then why do I want to do something? And if I want to do something, why do I need motivation? One question is versus the second question. You do, keep doing. But if you need motivation, if you are dependent on motivation, if you are dependent on an opinion, if you are dependent on profit and loss, then your dependency makes you limited. It makes you a slave of it. There is a weight of dependency. If one question exists, the other ceases to exist. If this question exists, this ceases to exist. Can I do without the need to do? But do because it is in my flow.
But who decides what's in my flow?
Well, if there is a decision, it's a limited understanding. Don't decide. Your flow is Vishwa Vyavastha. It is the universal indication. It is your karmic structure. Why we ask this question? Who decides what to do, what not to do? Well, this question has come out of ego, out of my intelligence.
It
It
could be
wants,
Vivek, choosing right from wrong.
it could be,
Vivek,
I'm not getting the word you're trying to say.
Vivek.
Discrimination between right
Vivek,
and
Vivek. Well, when the Jeev does not have to decide what it must do, and it yet does, that is real Vivek. And when the intelligence decide this is right from wrong, that is the ego, that is not the Vivek.
I think Nayanbhai or Harshaben has question.
Yes, please. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Unmute.
Nan by Sharan.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you. આપણે જે વાત તમે જે કરો છો ને એ એક્ઝેક્ટલી વોટ ધ સ્ક્રિપ્ચર્સ આર સેઇંગ કે એક દ્રવ્ય બીજા દ્રવ્યનું કાંઈ કરી શકતો નથી. તમારે સહજતાથી જીવવાનું છે કે જે સમયે જે આવ્યું જે મળ્યું એ બરાબર જ છે. કારણ કે વિશ્વ જે તમે વિશ્વ વ્યવસ્થા કીધી કે વસ્તુ વ્યવસ્થા કહો, ઇટ ઇઝ ધ સેમ થિંગ, તો એના પ્રમાણે જ થાય છે. તો પછી જીવ તું શું કરવા વલોપાત કરે?
Absolutely.
It does not make sense. You are creating unnecessary commotion in your whole existence, not just the body, mind, and intellect, but even your, Atman, and we neglect that. And we give so much importance to, then we know that BMI is not actually living, it's jad. So फिर इनको के I just don't get that. Why should we give that importance to it? There is no need for it.
પુરુષાર્થ ક્યાં ગયો તો પછી આમાં?
પુરુષાર્થ એ રહ્યો તમારો કે તમે
કઈ ના કરો એ જ પુરુષાર્થ છે.
reaction ના કરો. Action is never wrong. Reaction is wrong. But that's how I and correct me where I am not thinking right, please.
Not at all. Very well said. In fact, અહીંથી બાકીનું સત્સંગ તમે લઈ લેશો તો મને વધારે મજા આવશે. કારણ કે તમે
બધા બધાને ઘરે જતા રહેશે.
No, I meant it in the nicest of ways, because
Right.
it is absolutely true what you said. Think of this. Just for once, do something without the interruption of the intelligence. Look, you don't need intelligence to tell you how to walk. That is ingrained in you. It is conditioned in you. Do you use intelligence every bit of your walking? How to walk, how to balance. You walk nonchalantly. You walk without vichar vikalp. You walk like it's nobody's business. You just walk. Is there intelligence in that? Do you think you use brain every now and then to be able to walk? Or maybe you might think that, well, the brain is always at play. We don't need to use it. It uses itself. Can we say that? When we walk, how to balance, the brain uses itself. It works by itself. So I must ask you, if while walking, if the brain is using itself, why are you interrupting? You pull out. Let the rest of them do what they are. Let the legs do what it wants to. Let the brain do what it has to. Why are you interrupting? Your interruption to anything in your life is the birth of ego. And your observation to anything you do or anything that happens in your life is the absence of intelligence, of ego. Take all these activities of your life where you're not aware of this intelligence. It's happening on its own. You put food into your mouth. What happens rest is not every single moment of using your intelligence. It is Swayam Sanchalit. And the moment you gulp, everything that happens after that is Swayam Sanchalit. Every thought of control, every thought of trying to control also came on its own accord. You did not bring it. It came. What does that tell you? If you could not control the thought of controlling, then how can you control what the thought is telling you to control? I'll come again. I'll repeat this. If you could not control, if you could not avoid the thought of controlling from coming into you, how can you control what the thought of control is asking you to control? Are you getting this, or am I confusing?
Yeah, like you're doing a
No, this is clear.
borrowed control.
I'm sorry, sir.
You are doing as a quote unquote borrowed control.
Like
So
my,
You are
is telling you to control.
absolutely, you are the slave of your thought.
અભિષેકભાઈ ગુજરાતીમાં જરા કહેશો તો વધારે ક્લિયર થશે.
આ વસ્તુને ગુજરાતીમાં કહું,
હા.
કોઈ વસ્તુને કંટ્રોલ કરવાનો જે વિચાર છે એ તમે લાવ્યા કે આપમેળે આવ્યો, પોતમેળે આવ્યો, સ્વયં સંચાલિતતામાં આવ્યો, એની મરજી પ્રમાણે આવ્યો, તમે લાવ્યા કે એ આવ્યો? પેલા આ નક્કી કરો સાહેબ. અરે કંટ્રોલ કરવાનો વિચાર નહીં, કોઈ બી વિચાર તમે લાવ્યા કે આપમેળે આવી ગયો?
તમે લાવે તો ઈગો થયો.
આપમેળે જ આવે.
એક તો તમે લાવે એનો મતલબ છે કે તમે તમારી મેળે બધું જ કરી શકો છો, તો એ નથી થતું એમ.
જો તમે વિચારને લાવી શકો છો
તો
વિચારને રોકી કેમ નથી શકતા? બહુ સરળ વસ્તુ છે કે નહીં? આમાં આપણને શું અઘરું લાગે? જે વિચારને હું રોકી શકતો નથી એ વિચારને હું લાવી શકું, અને જો લાવી શકું તો રોકી ન શકું. તો જે વિચાર મને એમ કહે છે કે કંટ્રોલ કર, એ વિચારને હું કંટ્રોલ ન કરી શક્યો
બીજું ક્યાંથી કંટ્રોલ?
તો વિચાર મને કહે છે જેનો કંટ્રોલ કર, એને કેવી રીતના કંટ્રોલ કરીશ? તો મારા કંટ્રોલમાં છે શું સાહેબ?
કશું જ નથી.
અને જો કામ કરવાનું મોટિવેશન જો આ બી એક વિચારથી શરૂ થાય છે, કામ કરવાનું મોટિવેશન, કોઈ બી વસ્તુ કરવાનું મોટિવેશન એ બી એક વિચારથી શરૂ થાય છે, અને એ વિચાર મેં નથી લાવ્યો, તો પછી મોટિવેશન પણ હું શા માટે લાવું? જો મોટિવેશનનો વિચાર મેં નથી લાવ્યો તો મોટિવેશન હું શા માટે લાવું? તમે નદીની જેમ વહો, તમે કહો છો કે કાર્ય કઈ રીતે થાય, પણ તમારું શરીર તો કોન્સ્ટન્ટલી હલે છે, તો આ કાર્ય નથી? એક એક સેકન્ડે તમારું શરીર હલે છે, તો આ કાર્ય નથી? તો તમે આ કાર્ય
સ્વયં સંચાલિત છે.
તો તમે આ કાર્ય મોટિવેશન થી કરો છો કે નેચરલી થાય છે?
નેચરલી.
તો તમે તમારા જીવનમાં નેચરલ ફ્લો ને લાવો અને જીવન એવું બનાવો કે મોટિવેશન વાળી વસ્તુઓ નહીં, પણ નેચરલ ફ્લોમાં જે આવતું હોય એ હું કરીશ.
થયા
અને
કરે.
હું નહીં આવતું હોય નેચરલ ફ્લોમાં તો નહીં કરું. તો મને ખ્યાલ તો આવશે જ કે હું વિચારનો ગુલામ ક્યાં ક્યાં છું, હું સ્વતંત્ર ક્યાં છું અને પરાધીન ક્યાં છું. આ તો મને ખ્યાલ આવશે ને. જો એક સન્ડે એવો કાઢી શકું કે મોટિવેશન નહીં આવે તો કઈ નહીં કરું, અને મોટિવેશન વગર જે કઈ થતું હશે એ ભલે થાય.
આપણે થયા કરે છે એ વાતની એક વાર છો ને, આપણે થયા કરો એની જાતે થાય.
જો સાહેબ હું કહું તો છું, પણ એ તો લિમિટેડ વિઝન છે. તમે એક્સપિરિયન્સ કરશો તો તમને એ સમજમાં આવશે. મારી વાતો સર્વથા હોઈ જ ન શકે, પણ મારી લિમિટેડ વાત જો તમને અનલિમિટેડ બનાવી શકે તો વાંધો નહીં.
બરાબર. ટૂંકમાં સહજ ભાવે બધો સ્વીકાર કરતા રહો.
ટૂંકમાં સહજતા એ મારો સ્વભાવ છે, એ સમજો તો બધું થતું રહેશે.
Abhishekbhai, એક question પૂછું. I know it's kind of maybe requires more discussion, પણ આપણે સહજપણે if we just સ્વીકાર કરીએ કે જે પણ થઈ રહ્યું છે થયા કરે, તો એ તો આપણે કર્યું જ છે ને અનાદિકાળથી, પણ એ સંજ્ઞા પ્રેરિત રહ્યું.
આપણે અનાદિકાળથી શું કર્યું છે? સહજપણે સ્વીકાર કર્યો છે, એમ કહો છો?
હા, એટલે સંજ્ઞા પ્રેરિત આપણું behavior રહ્યું ને. We've always been letting instincts control, and we feel that like wherever the instincts take us, we go. So there also we are letting go and going with the flow. So, but that's a different kind of flow.
જે ફ્લોમાં
એમાં awareness નથી. So I agree with that. There is no awareness of what I'm doing.
કરેક્ટ. જેમાં તમે ભળી જાઓ છો, એકમેક થઈ જાઓ છો, ત્યાં ઈગો હોય જ, ત્યાં અભિપ્રાય હોય જ, ત્યાં પ્રોફિટ એન્ડ લોસ હોય જ, તો ત્યાં ફ્લો નથી. જ્યાં ફ્લો છે ત્યાં કોઈ સ્ટાર્ટ અને એન્ડ નથી. આ બહુ મહત્વપૂર્ણ વાત છે. હું કોઈ બી કાર્યને કાર્ય એટલે કહું છું કારણ કે હું એને એક સ્ટાર્ટિંગ અને એક એન્ડિંગ આપું છું. પણ તમારા જીવનમાં સ્ટાર્ટ અને એન્ડ ક્યાં છે? જન્મ અને મરણ, એને સ્ટાર્ટ અને એન્ડ કહીશું?
ના, એ તો પછી બીજામાં જવાના છે.
વાત સાચી છે, પણ એ બી એક બિલીફ છે. અને હું એમ નથી કહેતો કે એ બિલીફ ખોટી છે. હું એમ કહું છું નિર્ણય લેવામાં જ્યારે આવે ને તો પાસ્ટ અને ફ્યુચરમાં જીવ વયો જાય અને ઇન્ટેલિજન્સ ત્યાં ઊભું રહી જાય. કેમ કે નિર્ણય એ હંમેશા રાઈટ રોંગના બેસિસ પર લેવામાં આવે, એ હંમેશા ફાયદા નુકસાનના બેસિસ પર લેવામાં આવે. અને નિર્ણય એ હંમેશા ત્યાં લેવામાં આવે જ્યાં સ્ટાર્ટિંગ અને એન્ડિંગ હોય. પણ અખંડ ધારા ચાલુ છે. મને છેડો નથી મળતો સ્ટાર્ટનો, મને છેડો નથી મળતો એન્ડનો. ક્યાંથી આવ્યું આ? તો જ્યાં કોઈ છેડો નથી ત્યાં નિર્ણય શા માટે? નિર્ણય કે આ સાચું છે, નિર્ણય કે આ બરાબર છે, નિર્ણય કે આ ખોટું છે, નિર્ણય કે આ મારા ફાયદાનું છે. આવા નિર્ણય શા માટે? ને જો નિર્ણય છે તો વર્તમાન નથી. કારણ કે નિર્ણય એ હોય જ સ્ટાર્ટ અને એન્ડ વાળી વસ્તુ માટે. તમે સ્ટાર્ટિંગ એન્ડિંગ કાઢી નાખો તો નિર્ણય એટલે કે ડિસિઝન એટલે કે કન્ક્લુઝન એટલે કે એઝમ્પશન will cease to exist. અહીંયા કયા ડિસિઝનની આપણે વાત કરી રહ્યા છે? તમારા ઘરમાં કોઈને હાર્ટ એટેક આવ્યો તો હવે તમારા નેક્સ્ટ સ્ટેપ શું હશે? તો તમે એમ કહેશો ને કે એના ડિસિઝન્સ મારે લેવા પડશે, રાઈટ? તો those are also decisions. Should I not take those decisions thinking કે મારે શા માટે નિર્ણય લેવા? No, that is not what we are trying to say. We are trying to say that કોઈને ઘરમાં હાર્ટ એટેક આવ્યો છે તો મારી જે કન્ડિશનિંગ છે એ ઓટોમેટિકલી it will start playing out. અને ફ્લોમાં એ નિર્ણય બી લેશે, એ એક્શન બી લેશે, એ ફ્લોમાં વહેતો બી જશે અને જે થવાનું હશે એ થશે, જે એનાથી થઈ શકશે એ કરશે. બટ ત્યાં એને એવો નિર્ણય લેવાની જરૂર નથી કે આ બધું જે થયું છે એ મારા નિર્ણય લેવાથી થયું છે. એ બધું સ્વયં સંચાલિત થયું છે. જો કયા ડોક્ટરને ફોન કરવું એ તમારામાં પહેલેથી ફીડ છે. એમ્બ્યુલન્સને બોલાવવી આ તમારા રિસ્પોન્સ રૂપે આવ્યું છે. એ તો એની મેળે આવી ગયું છે, તમારા નિર્ણયથી નથી આવ્યું. જે સિચ્યુએશન છે એના રિસ્પોન્સ રૂપે તમારા અંદરથી જે કંઈ નીકળ્યું છે એ તો સ્વયં સંચાલિત છે. ત્યાં એવું કેવું કે આ નિર્ણય મારો હતો, આ તો ઇન્ટેલિજન્સ આવી ગયું, આ તો ઈગો આવી ગયો. બધું લેવાઈ જશે, ડિસિઝન પણ લેવાઈ જશે, એક્શન પણ લેવાઈ જશે. એ જે બી વિવેક બુદ્ધિથી થશે એ મારા લિમિટેડ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગથી જ થવાનું છે. પણ એ બધી ઘટનાને મેં કર્યું, મારાથી થયું, મેં ટાઈમ પર કર્યું માટે બધું બરાબર થયું, અથવા તો મારી ભૂલ થઈ માટે ગડબડ થઈ ગઈ, ત્યાં ઈગો આવી ગયો, ત્યાં મિથ્યાત્વ આવી ગયું. પણ તમે સ્વયં સંચાલિતતાને સમજો કે બધું એની મેળે રિસ્પોન્સ થાય છે અને થવા દો. બસ એટલું માનો નહીં કે મેં કર્યું.
એ એક્ઝામ્પલમાં તમારે રિસ્પોન્સ તો આપવાનો જ છે. ઘરમાં કોઈને હાર્ટ એટેક આવ્યો તો
તમારે આપવાનો છે કે રિસ્પોન્સ આવી જશે લઈ ગયો? તમારે રિસ્પોન્સ આપવો પડશે કે રિસ્પોન્સ આવી જશે?
રિસ્પોન્સ આવી તો જશે જ એની મેળે જ. there is a way you have a responsibility to do that.
કરેક્ટ. તો ત્યાં એવું માન્યતા સ્થાપિત કરવાની શી જરૂર છે કે મારા કરવાથી થયું? એ તો બધું કોઝ એન્ડ ઇફેક્ટ હતું સાહેબ. એક ફ્લોમાં બધું થયું છે.
હેમેન્દ્રભાઈને પ્રશ્ન છે.
પ્રણામ અભિષેકભાઈ, નિર્ણય તો નેચરલ ફ્લોમાં હશે તો બી એક એવો બી નિર્ણય લેવો પડશે કે હું અમને એમ્બ્યુલન્સ બોલાવું કે ડૉક્ટરને બોલાવું કે હમણાં લઈ જાઉં, તો એ બી નિર્ણય તો મારે ભલે નેચરલ ફ્લોમાં છે બધું જ, પણ ત્યાં આગળ બી આઈ હેવ ટુ કમ ટુ સમ નિર્ણય કે ભાઈ હું ડૉક્ટરને અહીંયા બોલાવી લઉં કે એમ્બ્યુલન્સમાં એમને લઈ જાઉં, હમણાં જ ઇમિડિયેટલી દવા આપી દઉં. સો ઓલ ધોઝ થિંગ્સ વિલ પ્લે આઉટ સાઇમલ્ટેનિયસલી. એટલે મારા જીવે ત્યારે બી નિર્ણય તો ક્યાંક લેવો જ પડશે ને. તો હાઉ ડઝ ધેટ અફેક્ટ માય સહજ નેચરલ ફ્લો કરી?
ચાલો આપણે એને ઘટાવીએ, આપણે એને એક સીનની જેમ ઘટાવીએ. એક વર્તમાનની ક્ષણમાં જે ઘટ્યું એના તમે ઓબ્ઝર્વર હતા, એને તમે જાણ્યું, બરાબર છે? એના પર એ જાણતા જે રિસ્પોન્સ તમારી અંદર આવ્યા એ હવે આ વર્તમાન બન્યું. અને એ વર્તમાનમાં જે રિસ્પોન્સ તમારી અંદર આવ્યા એ રિસ્પોન્સથી બીજા નવા રિસ્પોન્સ નીકળ્યા એ આ વર્તમાનમાં થયા. હવે એને આપણે ઘટાવીએ. હાર્ટ એટેકના ન્યૂઝ મળ્યા છે તો પહેલો વિચાર શું આવશે?
Abhishekbhai, if you don't mind, English કહેશો કારણ કે some people don't understand Gujarati.
All right, let's play this out like a scene. Let's say if there is a heart attack in your family. Come to the moment of that news hitting your knowledge.
Right.
Okay, you come to that very moment when that news hit you. It came to your knowledge. Come to that moment. There is a heart attack in your family. What is the next response? Any one person can say whatever they want. We are trying to play out the whole scene.
Yeah. Then you need a medical attention or medical provider.
Okay, that's the first thought that came to you.
Right.
Did you need intelligence to come up with that? Or the very news triggered that response from you?
Well, that very news ignite the thought to get the medical attention or medical provider.
Correct. So was there a space for the ego to exist?
There I
Ego
would
didn't-
stop.
didn't play
Abhishek,
anything.
Abhishekbhai, I would
Sorry.
like to interrupt for a moment.
Yes.
Yes, in a way, because my past thoughts and experience played it out. It's not just my natural instinct that is coming out, like the one that you explained that the natural blood flow is flowing. I have no control over it. Here, my past intelligence, my past experience that I have had in my life, that is what came into play and told me that this is what I need to do. It's not just a natural instinct that came out. Am I right?
You are right, but that's not the ego.
That's your impression?
I'm sorry.
That was your impression of your experience?
It was the impression. It was the limited conditioning that automatically triggered a response. But I'm saying the news of a heart attack triggered the response in you that medical attention is required. Where is the ego in this? There's no issue that it came out of your past understanding, past knowledge, past experience, whatever you may call it. But the trigger was natural. Where was the ego in this?
Ego didn't play the role in there. It just came up.
There was absolutely no ego.
No ego. Ego didn't play any role.
It didn't play any role. It is true that it came out of your impressions.
Correct.
But it came out naturally. Right?
Right.
So this requires medical attention. Now, this requires medical attention. What response does this thought trigger further? Call 911?
Yeah, or call whoever the doctor you're supposed to call.
All right, each to his own. Someone may dial 911. You
Right,
may
right,
dial
whatever.
your own doctor.
Right.
So dialing your doctor is the response triggered by the earlier thought of medical attention is required. Now we are in the Vartaman, we are in the present thought of call the doctor. Now this thought, what will it trigger? Please take me through. Let's play it out.
Yeah. So now it will trigger that you don't want, your intelligence is not saying, but you know what you have to do. It comes out naturally that you have to do that, something to do in order to help out the heart attack condition.
So let's say the thought of calling a doctor will trigger the response of pulling out the mobile phone from your pocket.
Yeah.
And then you start dialing.
Right.
Now the mobile phone is in your hands. The moment you look at your screen, that Vartaman triggers in you to take your thumb or your finger to start scrolling the contacts and or type the letter of the doctor's name and click. Now
Right.
that moment has triggered a response to take the phone to your ears.
Correct.
And the phone has rang. The phone has rung. It is ringing.
Right.
Now the doctor is not picking up. What response will be triggered by that?
Well, it just came out naturally to call the doctor, looking on the screen, scrolling down the numbers and calling the doctor.
Right, but he didn't pick up. That's what he's saying.
If he didn't pick up the phone, then automatically the thought will come in a mind, then go to the next step, either call 911 or whatever to be done. Rescue.
All right. So should we still play it out, or you're getting the point? In all of this, where is the ego?
Ego wasn't there.
Isn't one Vartaman, one present moment, triggering the response of the next moment? And a series of such actions are going on. However, that being said, it is not necessary that ego cannot enter. It is not necessary that interruptions cannot come. It may come in any form.
It may come and it will tell you that, oh, I was the one who did calling the doctor. That's where the ego plays.
Absolutely.
Afterwards,
So
when you
let's say
narrate to other people, right, saying, "Hey, I was present at that time, and I was the one who saved the life, and I did this, and I did that." Or let's say there is another person in the family who is saying, no, we must do this, but you are saying, no, we must do this.
Right.
So now there is a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
And this is where there is a chance of ego to interrupt, the intelligence to come. But the Jeev could have not chosen rather, but the Jeev could have continued in the flow. Let's say another person came into the picture and gave an opinion.
Right.
You say, okay, let's try that. Or you respond saying, no, but then this may cause problem. Now, in all of this, you know very well what is ego and what is flow. I cannot establish that for you. You know very well. The moment a thought has come to your mind, that person knows nothing. I can't listen to that.
I know
It is
more
I
than
who
that.
has to decide. It is me who knows better. All of these thoughts, when they come in, the ego has risen.
Right. Ego plays a role.
So the ego always has a chance to interrupt. But you always have the option of flowing. If you flow, the response that is triggered by you is going to come out of your own existing limited conditioning. That this is the heart attack, that it needs medical attention, that we need to call so and so doctor, that I need to pick up the phone and call, that it is ringing, so that there is the need to call 911. These are all responses that are coming out of you as part of your conditioning. There is no ego needed. It's a flow. It's an absolute nonchalant flow of things.
So there's nothing like a good or a bad decision.
You tell me. The moment you say, first of all, when do you say it's a bad decision? After the result.
Right.
Moreover, we say it's a bad decision because the desired result was not there.
Right.
Correct? But I also need you to understand the judgment of a decision being wrong is dependent on the desired result, which means there is a start, there is an end. But why should a result be an end? Is life not going on post the result? Was life not going on before the result?
Hmm.
Is the result not part of that ever flowing life? Then why do I pick that particular moment and label it something?
Because it has consequences. So,
But who decides consequences? When there is a start and there is an end, that's where consequences exist. We have unlimited space and time. Space time. Space is unlimited and time is timeless. There is no such thing as time restriction. What we do is we make our own measurement of time and we give it a slot. And then we live within that slot. And then whatever happens within that slot, we make preconceived notions about it. And we desire a certain result within that time slot.
Created our own comfort zone.
You created your own time zone.
Can I say something? આ જે વ્યક્તિનું જે રિઝલ્ટ આવે એ તો એના પુણ્ય અને એના આયુષ્ય કર્મ પ્રમાણે આવવાનું છે. તમે તો ખાલી નિમિત્ત બન્યા છો એને બધું જ કે લઈ જવામાં કે આ કરવામાં કે જે પણ આવ્યું. તો એને પછી શું કરવા આટલી બધી પછીથી આનું રિઝલ્ટ આમ કર્યું હોત તો આમ આવત ને પણ નથી આવ્યું, પતી ગઈ વાત.
તમારી વાત સાચી છે, પણ અહીંયા એક લિમિટેડ વિઝન છે. તમને સમજાવું. તમે કહ્યું કે રિઝલ્ટ કેવું આવશે એ તો કર્મ પર નિર્ભર છે, બરાબર? પણ મારે તમને પ્રશ્ન પૂછવો છે, isn't every single moment not a result of something?
It is in a way and it is not in a way.
Why is it not in a way?
If you know, let's say that you said something to me which does not suit me, correct? To my whatever, we've been talking about perception, limited, all that. And then I have a choice whether I want to react to it or okay, that's his opinion and that's it, over.
But why did you give that singular moment so much importance? Why is that moment more important than the moments before or the moments after?
Because
why did that moment become special? Isn't all life a flow? Then why is this moment a result? Why is it special to you?
Connected to me, quote unquote.
No, you mean, okay.
Everything that happens in your life is connected to you.
Of course.
How does that mean that I select one moment out of a continuously flowing time and call it a result, call it special, and then also tell myself, pacify myself by saying, આ તો કર્મનો ખેલ છે. કર્મનો ખેલ કોન્સ્ટન્ટ નથી.
છે ખરો.
પુણ્ય અને પાપના ઉદય.
Continuous.
Good karma, bad karma, isn't it playing non-stop? Then why am I calling a singular moment a result?
No, the reason that what I was thinking in that sense is that માનો કે મેડિકલ અટેન્શન પહેલા કર્યું ને 911 પછી કર્યું, રાઈટ? તો પછી છેવટે બીજા પણ સિબ્લિંગ્સ હોય ને ઘરમાં, તો કે તે આવું કર્યું હોત તો ના થાત કદાચ. મમ્મી હતા જ, મમ્મી કદાચ જીવી પણ જાત, પોસિબલ બી હોઈ શકે. પણ એ વખતે હું હતી અને મને જે વિચાર પહેલો આવ્યો એ મેં એક્ઝિક્યુટ કર્યો. તો ત્યારે પછી એમ વિચાર આવે કે કદાચ એમ જ હશે, વિધિનું ધારવું આ પ્રમાણે જ હશે, તો માટે આમ થયું.
તો હું તમને સમજાવું. Heart attack. A heart attack
Mhm.
was a result of something. The news of heart attack that came to you was a result of someone telling you.
Mhm.
You thinking of giving it medical attention was a result of that news hitting you.
Mhm.
You calling your doctor was a result of you thinking that medical attention is required.
Mhm.
The mobile phone coming out of your pocket was a result of you wanting to call the doctor.
Mhm.
The doctor's phone ringing was a result of you dialing the doctor.
Mhm.
And all the events that transpired after that
Mhm.
were a result of the previous moment.
Correct. Mhm.
Everything that you call a result is not a result of a long collection of moments. It is the result of the previous moment.
So
Mhm.
every moment gave the result.
So then every moment is a result. Then
Mhm.
every moment is karmic result.
Correct.
Then why do I need to give special importance to a moment and then say કે કર્મમાં હતું પણ કર્મથી જ ચાલી રહ્યું છે અને રિઝલ્ટ પછી
I see what you are trying to, tell me that if that is always the flow of the karma, if that is then everything else is that, then why should I label that the last point? And that is also maybe I think in that probably moment, I'm trying to picture that moment happening in the house. And maybe then I have a little guilt feeling that, oh, maybe I should have called 911 first, but I didn't do that. And
well
maybe
I
it,
want to ask you, if guilt feeling was a result, then what was the reason for that result? Can you go to the previous moment of that?
the previous moment is that mom did not survive.
Right, correct.
So,
So
and
he
I've
did the
that,
news the news of he did not survive was the result of the previous moment in which someone uttered those words to you.
right.
Someone uttered those words because that same knowledge came into their knowledge.
Mhm.
You go in the past, you go in the future, all you will realize is that every moment is an effect and that same moment is a cause.
Pause. Got it.
અને
And
આને જ આપણે કહીએ છીએ ઉત્પાદ વ્યય. અને આ જ કોઝ એન્ડ ઇફેક્ટ નો ઓબ્ઝર્વર છે એ ધ્રુવ સ્વરૂપ જાણનારો છે. એટલે ધ્રુવ સ્વરૂપ જાણનારો ઉત્પાદ વ્યયને જોવે છે. એ બધું એક મોમેન્ટમાં થાય છે. કોઝ આ મોમેન્ટમાં છે, ઇફેક્ટ પણ આ મોમેન્ટમાં છે. આ મોમેન્ટની કોઝ બીજા મોમેન્ટની ઇફેક્ટ છે, પણ બીજા મોમેન્ટની ઇફેક્ટ એ આ મોમેન્ટની કોઝ છે.
correct.
અને આ બેવનો જાણનારો હું આ મોમેન્ટમાં છું as an observer. So there is cause, there is effect, there is the knower, and all three exist in the same moment.
Moment.
Then why am I cherry picking particular moment as good result and bad result when every moment is an effect of a cause and every cause was an effect of a previous cause?
At that time, your intelligence is telling you to say that that particular moment you say, then your intelligence played the role.
So that's your ego.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
moment ego dies,
Right.
then
Yeah.
result dies with it. That
Mhm.
the absence of ego will never be able to see life as a result. Not a
Correct.
single moment.
Makes sense.
Akhand dhara.
Mhm.
So it is
Makes
always the ego that gives a special status to a particular moment. But you
Hemendra.
are, if you are merely the observer of that event, if you're merely the observer of that event, you are going to be the observer of the next event. And you were the observer of the previous event.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You are constantly observer.
You're constantly the knower, you're constantly the observer. You don't control. The control is the ego. Ego is the intelligence. The presence of intelligence is the absence of the observer. But the moment the intelligence dies, the observer surfaces. And where there is the observer, it is timeless.
Correct. Exactly.
There is no start, there is no end.
Yeah. And I realized that all this time we are talking about is the same thing. And at the end, but when I gave importance to what somebody made a comment, then I felt like maybe I should.
Somebody made a comment that triggered your.
Hemendra bhai ne prashna છે.
Pranam Abhishek Bhai, is this what it is? I mean, is this the acceptance of Krambad Paryay? Is that what you leading to in this whole thing? Acceptance of the Krambad Paryay?
Absolutely. It is the observation of Krambadha Paryay. And the very pure observation of Krambadha Paryay itself is the Sarvasvikar, the pure acceptance.
Correct.
The moment I say I accepted, it is the intelligence, it is the ego. But the moment of observation, the dhara, the unending flow of observation itself is the Sarvasvikar, itself is the Swayam Sanchalit Krambadha Paryay.
એક તો જોઈએ તો જ તમને દર્શન થાય એટલે કાતી તો વાત.
So I think, to sum it up, today's discourse, the intelligence, the existence of intelligence itself is indicating limited vision. The ego itself means limited vision. And let us all decide today, let us all challenge the intelligence that the moment you make a judgment, if it is not universal, then you have no right to exist. If it is limited, you have no right to exist. But come to me only when the product of your observation is unlimited, is the ultimate truth. It's the one truth. It's the undeniable truth. It's the isness of things. So let us all collectively decide that none of my beliefs, none of my opinions, none of my judgments are the absolute truth, because there is always another judgment out there. And if my judgment is true, then by virtue of it, in the same moment, the judgment of the infinite other souls is untrue. And at that very moment, the other person is also thinking that my judgment is true. So that other person is, by virtue of it, deciding that the rest of the people's opinions, judgment is untrue. So if all individuals stay in their limited visions, there will be no universal, collective vision, an unlimited vision. But if you become unlimited, then nothing is true, nothing is untrue. Everything just is.
As it is. As it is.
And I think with that we can end
Very good.
today's
Thank you
discourse.
so
I
much.
think there is
Thank you.
enough to, I think we've spoken enough to kind of process this till the next time we meet, if we meet. I
We
hope,
will meet.
I hope I've not been confusing. And words can sometimes, you see, words itself mean limitation,
Yes. Yes.
but experience is unlimited. You see, the moment I try to tell you my experience, I've already corrupted that experience by the limitation of words.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Very true. Very true.
Correct.
So the moment a person speaks, always remember he's already limited.
But we don't have any other way, right? So that's a limitation we have to work with.
That's absolutely fine.
And
Any
we need
limitation,
this, and we need this Anuradha Dhara of satsang to keep reminding us. So don't say this if we meet. We must meet.
But you're right, there was a lot that was covered. So one thing I will request is like if anybody has any questions, we can collect them, and then we can, whenever, it was very, one quick thing, Abhishekbhai's schedule is very, very difficult. So it was very hard to, I've been meaning to get this schedule since June after our GDW session, but finally today it came into the natural flow of things and we were managed to. So hopefully in future we can do, I'm hoping once in 2-3 weeks, but till that time, if people can think about and whatever questions you have, you can even send it to me. We can collect all of them and then we can continue the next time. So thank you very much, Abhishekbhai.
Good. Fair enough.
Thank you so
Thank you,
kindly.
Jayendra. Thank you so much, Abhishekbhai. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishekbhai.
Jayendra, thank you very much. Thank you.
ખૂબ અનુમોદના કરીએ છીએ. આપની બંને લેંગ્વેજ એટલો ફ્લો ફાઇન હતો, ખરેખર મેં તો ઇંગ્લિશમાં પહેલી વાર સાંભળી છે આવી રીતે, અને આઈ એમ રિયલી ખૂબ ખૂબ અનુમોદના કરું છું આપની.
ખૂબ ખૂબ અનુમોદના.
ખૂબ મજા.
આભાર અભિષેકભાઈ.
આપ સૌને બી ખૂબ ખૂબ અનુમોદના. આપના નિમિત્તે અમે પણ અમારા સ્વાધ્યાયમાં રહી શકીએ છીએ અને આપના નિમિત્તે અમે પણ ફોલ્ટર ન થઈએ, સ્વચ્છંદ ન બનીએ, એ બદલ તમને પણ ખૂબ ખૂબ અનુમોદના, ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર.
એ તો આપણે બધાએ ધ્યાન રાખવાનું છે.
Thank you.
પળે પળે જાગ્રત રહેવાનું છે. ખૂબ જ સમજાયું. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishekbhai. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
થેન્ક યુ રાકેશભાઈ, નેહાબેન, થેન્ક યુ, અને જે ઇન્વોલ્વ થયા હોય અભિષેકભાઈને લાવવા માટે બધાને થેન્ક યુ.
Abhishekbhai, thank you for your long hours over there. It's like almost like a midnight now.
Exactly, yes.
That's true.
Thank you so much.
Chalo, okay.
રાકેશભાઈ, નેહાબેન, thank you so much.
આભાર.
આભાર આપનો.
ને રાકેશભાઈ આભાર તમારો.